Well, g'day guys, time for a bit of an update I guess. Haven't posted anything since November, so starting from November, the two-door Corolla that was in the last video I got running, it found its new home in Sydney, which is about 6 hours from here. And since then my father moved, so I had to shift a few cars from his place. The V8 Commodore that was in the back shed, it got sold. It went to Wagga Wagga, only an hour and a half away. The K26 Corolla wagon, it found its new home up in Sydney as well. The grey K35 two-door Corolla, it went down to Bega, which is down towards the south coast of New South Wales. And I sold the green K55 two-door Corolla. It went to Perth in Western Australia. I went on a long road trip. Just looking at downsizing a lot. Around the yard doesn't look like it. I've sold 70 odd lawnmowers just as bulk lots. But as I'm clearing out my sheds over at Dad's old house, I've just been bringing home just as much. But anyway, moving onwards. I've chopped and changed projects a lot over the years, but I'm sticking with this one that's behind me here. It's a car type of car I grew up in. We had many of them over the years. Yeah, parents had them when I was a little kid, and I recently made a deal with a bloke that I couldn't knock back. There was two of them, and he'd hit some very bad financial struggles, so we've got the power back on at his house. We've got a few repairs done in his house. In exchange, I took these two little cars away. They were stripped 20 odd years ago for restoration, and he wasn't able to make them happen. So they weren't even rolling shells when I picked them up. This one yesterday, I'll go through what I'd done, but they're going to be a lot of fun. I'll probably only end up doing up one of them and send the other one on its way. So anyway, let's go. So here is a 1978 Mini Clubman. I've washed that side, and there's the dust from where it sat in this shed, and half the dust's blown off on the trailer on the way home. Had about an hour's trip on the way home. Got subframes fitted up yesterday. Tyres are old and crappy and didn't hold any air. Haven't got the engine fitted as yet. Haven't got the interior fitted as yet. So yesterday I painted up front subframes, and I painted the lower half of the engine bay and fitted it all up with new bolts. And yeah, but it will make home for even a little 1 litre 4-cylinder mini engine. I'm not going to go all out for something fast. I just want something to relive some memories. So I sold the VU Commodore Ute and brought my Moke from Dad's place over, but it's storing all the mini parts at the moment. And then there's some extras. I'm not sure what's there and what's not. I've just got to start putting it together and see what's missing. This memorable Mini my father had was a red Leyland Clubman GT. I think it was a 1971 model. It had the 1275 engine, but it was bored out to 1330. Had a big Waggett cam in it, Weber side draft carb, and nice Cooper S head on it. And it was an absolute little machine. And it ran hydroelastic suspension, which Minis ran two different types of suspension. They ran dry rubber cones and hydroelastic, and the thing that brought it undone in the end was that one of the hydroelastic lines blew. He had no money at the time, so he traded it in and bought a little Suzuki 4-wheel drive. And this was the time where they weren't worth much, so I'm pretty sure it'd end up going for scrap, but it may still be floating around Tasmania somewhere. Now we're living in New South Wales. So the engine I've got for this one is a 1 litre 998 motor. I've just sat this head on to try and stop a bit of moisture getting in. It's 60,000 overbore. Looks like it's been rebuilt recently. Well, hasn't done a lot of kilometres since it was rebuilt. Wouldn't say recently. Still got fresh home marks in the bores. But we're going to clean that up and put a good head on it and see if it will run. So this one runs dry rubber cone suspension, won't have the issues that my father's last one did. This one's only got single tanks. Dad's GT had twin tanks, one in either side. Little Luisi steering wheel, I quite like that. Just got to find a horn button for it. So I might actually contact them directly and see how we go with that. Got no wiring harness at the moment. I have got one, but it's been chopped up a bit. Maybe we can make one out of that, maybe not. Hello, kitty. You big cunt. A little bit of repairs been done there before. Can't have been a major rust hole, because usually if it's been a major rust hole, they fill that crack entirely. Looking under the panel, there is a plate underneath, so worst case, I'll take out all the spot welds, replace this guard. The front's a little bit bent, can't see at the moment, gate's in the way. Same story, I will replace that. Other than that, body's freaking awesome. Something did land on it in the shed it was stored in, so it's got a bit of a dent there. And it's been in an accident at some stage, but you can get a panel that just replaces that, and I think it's $22 or $25 from Mini Sport in the UK. Battery box needs replacing, it's $70 and it's only spot welds around there. Pull it out, drop a new one in, do some plug welds on it. And the spare tyre well, someone's repaired in the past, but I don't quite like it as much as what should be there, so they've just replaced that with flat steel over the top of the old one. And yeah, made a little bit of a mess of it, but shouldn't be too hard to tidy up. And the rear valance panel is absolute worst rust. It's just got a little hole there. So anyhow, go and have a look at the parts car, which is actually better, but it's missing a lot more parts than this one. And see what else is parts car. It ran hydroelastic suspension, but it's got no lines in it, and I've just thrown the subframes under it to make it a rolling concern. As you can see, it's just sitting on its bump stops. It is a really good shell, so I'm going to store it for now, unless someone comes along and makes a really good offer on it. There is no rust in it. Someone's jacked it under the spare tyre holder, but I can fix that very easily. No rust anywhere. Someone's replaced the floors, and there is a little bit of overlap underneath, which just needs tidying up. But I've seen plenty worse repairs, and I will keep an eye out for some dry rubber cone suspension just to convert this over. If I find that, or if I find a whole rusty wreck somewhere, I might make this one happen as well. My wife seems quite fond of these cars now. But it's had repairs in the past, but they seem to have been done fairly well, because they rust out in the bottom of the guard here, or inner guards, just from water spraying up, dirt building up. But all in all, is not a bad car either. This one's a 1972 model. Same story, the front's a little bit bent as well, but this one I'd pretty much be able to get straight, I think. 2000 model Corolla's gone, or 2003 model. Got replaced with this VY. Got a really good deal on it. I had to replace the engine though, and it's been going like a clock. We've spent nothing on it apart from the engine, and like perfect paintwork. At the moment it's filthy, but no, really nice car to ride around in. So here's all the parts for the Mini. And poor old mate's loaded up to the top at the moment. Oh, there is some Commodore and Tirana grills there, but they're going to the Wagga Wagga swap meet with me. Got exhaust, got seats, got a fuel tank, got another heater. These two are mini carbs, so that's alright. I've got two of these and they appear to be from triples off a Tirana. But I've only got two of them, so I might go back to the bloke I bought the minis off and see if I can find them. Because I've got a triple Stromberg manifold and I still have a Tirana too, so. And the nice crack-free dashboard for the yellow Mini too. This one's out of the later model. It's got a park brake and brake fail lights. The early Clubmans didn't have that. They just had a plain black dashboard with the little swivel ashtray. Oh, it's got bolts in it. Cool. But anyway, early morning drive this morning. Need some firewood. The Greens got us locked out of the national parks for firewood collection, even though there's hundreds and hundreds of tons of it out there. So this is the shit we're living off this year, just side of the road stuff. But it'll keep us warm, that's the main thing. Maybe the Greens will learn their lesson if a bushfire or something goes through there. It's beyond a fucking joke. Something I don't think I updated on in that last video I done, but the entire carport workshop runs off 12 volt solar, except for the air compressor, welder and grinders and drills. But all the lighting, radio, phone chargers and hopefully a TV soon will run off this. So we've got a 100 watt panel up on the roof at the moment, but got plenty of cabling installed for extra. Runs into this 80 amp controller, which is overkill for what it's doing at the moment. Need to upgrade the wire to the carport. It just goes underground. The battery, which has nice decent feed cables, so when I upgrade this, that's not going to be an issue. At the moment is just an old Hilux battery. Got the desulfator on at the moment, but it is losing capacity. It is quite old. And it comes along over to the house. You can't read the gauge at the moment. It'll be saying about 13 volts, 13.4. This is all 12 volt switching, 12 volt caravan radio, phone charger, and their work lights designed for forklifts. I think each one's 25 watts. Yeah, I've got to finish hanging up my number plates. I've got quite a few of them. And I can't tell you what half of them came from. But anyway. Here's a bit of an update for you. I'm going to attempt to try and make a video once a week. So, I do a lot of hours at work, but finally starting to get some days off coming up, so we'll work on that. Work on getting this thing tidied up here. And hopefully, the plan is I want it on the road Easter next year. There's a hot rod run in Narrandera where all sorts of classic cars get to come. This year, we took the 4-door K55 Corolla over, had a blast, just joined their street parade. And then just this weekend gone, but every year it's held in Hay, there's the Hay Mini Nationals, so I might make an appearance for that with a bit of luck. Thanks for watching.